Everybody will go today for practice as far as the injuries go. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Panthers. They're playing real good football right now and well coached, and they've got good players. So they're playing, like I said, they're coming off two good wins there. So anyways, with that, time's yours.
When it comes to Isaiah, how much do you foresee him playing on Sunday if he is?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see on both those two, Charles and him, kind of go through the practice, see where we're at and this week, and we'll go from there. But, just have to see, day by day type thing.
Do you sense it's easier to reach the guys about the details of urgency after a loss than it might be after you keep finding ways to win? And can you, just in terms of how you can get that across to them?
Yeah, I think the guys have been receptive all the way through, so I wouldn't say that. We've got a couple things we got obviously have to fix, so we'll keep working on those.
And at some point, Pacheco will be back, and I'm just wondering what the potential for Kareem and Isaiah in the same backfield would be, or just how you could employ both of them.
Yeah, we'll find a way. Both of them are good players, so we'll find a way to get both of them in if and when that takes place. So, but that's a good problem to have.
How's Isaiah been through? He seems like one of those guys who wants to just get back and go, go, go. You guys had to kind of keep him back a little bit for his own good, maybe. And how excited would he be if he?
I mean, listen, he's a spark plug now emotionally. He's something that way, and he's worked his tail off to get to the point that he's at now, and so we've got to keep an eye on him that way. He would have played 3 weeks ago, if he had his choice, but that's sometimes how it goes. I appreciate that mentality. That's what's helped him, like I said, get to this point.
I don't imagine either of those two guys did much in practice last week, but how did they look to you? What they did?
Yeah, both of them took all the scout team reps, so they did a nice job, and I thought I got some productive work.
Anything stand out to you defensively about the Panthers as you guys get ready for them? I know they struggled winning some games this year, but they must have some good things about them too.
Yeah, so offensively, they obviously have a good running back and a good quarterback. He's playing good football right now. Wide receiver, 17 is a heck of a player, and they've got a very good offensive line. So they're moving the football the last couple games, and then very well. And then defensively, it starts with their front. They've got a good defensive front. Their linebackers fly around. We know one of them from Denver, Jewel. So he knows that defense, and he's the one that's kind of heading things up there from that standpoint. And then their secondary, they got two good corners and two good safeties. They just got 20 back, so they have a lot of trust in him, and he's a good football player.
Andy, I know we've asked you before about the deep passes to Worthy. I just wonder, from your standpoint, before the ball is ever released on those plays, is there anything you're noticing about Patrick's footwork or some of the offensive line, the way the pocket is, that is maybe somewhat inconsistent that can lead to those misconnections?
Yeah, there are things, little things here and there. It could be him. It could be not being able to see it, just where the way the defense is playing it, whether it's possible pressure, situation there. So it's been a variety of things, but it will happen. It'll click here. And he sure had a nice game, though. He was positive in that last game.
Andy, you mentioned some of the younger guys was a learning experience for them on Sunday, and then obviously on Monday you reiterated that. But after you reviewed film with those young guys, what are the lessons learned, and how much are they willing to get back into it and learn some lessons from the tape?
Yeah, the guys, listen, our attitude is great. Those guys have been, they want to get better. They want to learn. It's always been that way, so since they've been here. And that game, good football team, gives you that experience. So you take and you learn from it and you move on. I mean, I can't go through everything there, but as far as that, but they're receptive to it, and the best part is they'll go try it. So that's that's the important part.
I'm wondering just the concept of, so the Bills play a little bit more man, have moderate success. Now, how much does that factor into game planning, just considering teams like to copy each other, or is it more so you just focus on what the Panthers are doing and deal with it that way, or is it kind of a combination of all those things?
Probably a combination, but we've we're trying to focus in on them. That's where it's happening, and they're improving as they go along. They're coming off a bye week, so they're going to be fresh and ready to go. And so we've tried to hone in. They've got good coordinators there, and so the schemes are sound, and you've got to make sure you spend the time exhausting yourself on that, and then the techniques and fundamentals of their players. So you're right there.
Andy, where would you say Hollywood Brown is potentially his opportunity to return this year?
Making very good progress. I can't tell you a time when he'll be back, but he's another one that is excited to get back out here and get going. So I appreciate the way he's approached this whole thing.
Coach, I know like last week you coached against Sean. You've known him for a long, long time. New coach this week. It's his rookie year. Do you know anything about him? You've better been around him, or how do you kind of get a feel for what someone's program's all about?
Yeah, I don't really know him, but I know where he's come from. I've had a chance to meet him and talk to him, and that at the owner meetings. Sharp guy. I think he's doing a heck of a job down there. Looks like the guys believe in what he's saying, so they're playing hard.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Okay, good.
Fire away.
Patrick, the Buffalo game, I'm sure you saw a lot of good, but what did you see that you guys need to improve upon going forward?
Yeah, I mean, there's just, I think, a couple plays here and there kind of changed the momentum of the game. If you look at the throw to Xavier down the sideline, or even throw in the in the third quarter on the second down where I hit Trav, I could probably hit Noah if I just wait on the progression. Just little plays like that are what make the difference in a big game, and so just stuff that you have to go back, look at, learn from, and try to get better at.
Patrick, what's the difference in mindset just from all these games where you find a way to now this time you didn't, and the sense of, I don't know if it's urgency that you alluded to the other day, but what is it that changes in your mind after that?
I think just having like you said, a sense of urgency from the beginning of the games. I feel like offensively we can be better the way we start and the way we play throughout the entire game, because you can tell whenever, a lot of times in the fourth quarter when we need a score, we go right down the field and score. And so if we can play the entire football game like that, it won't put us in these situations where in one-score games at the very end.
Do you think it's easier to get everybody's attention when there's a consequence with a loss?
I mean, yeah, we have a lot of veterans, so they know what we need to do, but obviously a loss kind of heightens everybody's attention to detail. I think that'd be the biggest thing. But at the same time, we know it's a long season. You lose a football game here and there, but you try to learn from that and try to be better the next week.
Patrick, Noah Gray has one of the highest catch percentages in the league. And when you throw it to him, it's almost always completion. What is it about him that allows for that?
Yeah, he does everything the right way, and he's learned a ton from Trav, and so he knows how to kind of work within the rules of the offense and get himself open. And he's just a guy that's going to be in the right spot. So as a quarterback, if you're going to give him the football, he's going to make the play happen. And so he's not going to talk a lot. He's going to come to work, do his job. But at the same time, those are the guys you want on your team because you know that he's going to do whatever it takes to win.
Pop doesn't seem to be the type of player who eases back into things. What are your expectations for Pacheco when he comes back?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it. I think it's gonna be us trying to hold him back because he's a guy that wants to be out there as much as possible and he wants to play. But same time, he wants to win and he knows the long term goal that we have. And our goal is to get him back as quickly as possible, but at the best time for him and his body, so that we can have him for the long haul. And so, whenever that is, I know he'll be ready and he'll be that Energizer bunny that everybody loves to see.
Your years, you've obviously developed a relationship with Beach. Brings in a receiver, Thornton, to the practice squad. What do you like about his potential?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in season, haven't watched a ton of film on him, but just from the highlights that I have seen, I mean, a ton of big playability. Someone that is a big frame. I didn't realize how tall he was until he got in the building. I'm excited to see him on the practice field working, and I'm sure guys like Carson and them will give him chances downfield, and we'll get to see that speed. And so a lot of talent, a lot of ability, and I think it'll be good to get him worked in within the offense and see what he can do.
When you guys have your script to start a game, and then you said like first drive, you had the interception. When you get back, now you're down 6-0. You go right back to the script. You have to make adjustments. And does it kind of just mess up the plan you guys had?
Not necessarily. I mean, interceptions are always kind of bump in the road because you don't want to have those. But at the same time, I think Coach Reid does a good job of going back to it, going back to the way we want to go about a game. I mean, obviously with them scoring from the interception, you have to try to find ways to get back in the end zone and keep the game close, keep it tied, or whatever that is. And so I don't think it does much. I mean, I know for me, it's just you keep firing. I mean, you don't want to throw interceptions, but at the end of the day, once they happen, there's nothing you can do about it. You just learn from it and try to be better the next time.
Coach mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I think it was the Monday night game, it was only 3 rushes for Kareem in the first half, and kind of got back to it in the third quarter, and maybe didn't run as much as you guys maybe would have liked this time around. Mm-hmm. When you're in the middle of the game, I mean, are you thinking about how many times we've run it and passed it and all that kind of stuff when you guys are on the headsets and talking on the pads over there on the sideline, or just how does that kind of work during the game?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, just obviously we didn't run a ton of plays this last game. So with the interception kind of stalling out that drive quickly, and then kind of how the flow of the game was, we probably threw the ball more than we might have wanted to from the beginning of the game. I thought Coach did a good job of getting the run game back going as the game went on, which opened up other things as well. And I think more than anything, just having with the offensive line that we have and those 3 guys in the middle, running downhill is hard for defenses to account for. And so if we can run the ball downhill, it opens up everything else. And I think Kareem and all those guys do a great job of doing that. So you got to have to play the flow of the game. You talk about it on the sideline, but I mean, all of us have full belief on whatever coach calls, we're going to go out there and execute.
What are your early thoughts here on Carolina and the challenge that they present?
Yeah, I mean, first off, great defensive coordinator. I played against him when he was in Denver. Very smart, very intelligent, and he kind of gets his guys in the right position. And they have a lot of talented players. I think you've seen that these last few weeks is that they play hard, and they're playing better football as the season goes on. And so it'll be a great challenge for us going there to play them. They're coming off 2 wins and a bye, so they're going to be hungry. And so it'll be a great opportunity for us to go out there and try to find a way to get a win.
Fine.
Just with Xavier, Andy referred to this a little bit, and you have two just little things on each of the deep connections that are so close to happening. In your mind, what are the commonalities, or what are the things that are just so close that you should be able to get through?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've seen as the season's gone on that he's playing faster. He has more confidence. It's about me being on the same page as him. And I mean, I can sit here and we can practice it all we want, but until we start doing it in the game, there's nothing much more that I can really say about it. But I'm excited for it. I believe it's going to start happening. And once it starts happening, the offense is going to really take off.
And do you agree with, is that the right thing, that each play has been just a little bit different?
Yeah, they're all different type of plays. Some of them he's the first read, some of them it's kind of an alert type read. But I think more than anything, you look at the film, you see him getting open, you see him utilizing his speed, and then now it's about me making the throws where he can score touchdowns. And if we score those touchdowns, like I said, it changes the entire ball game.
We'll go last 3, Nick, Nate, and Steve. Go ahead, Nick.
Patrick, for the guys that haven't been here, the rookies and some of the other young guys that haven't been on these runs, how do you kind of help them as a leader ramp up to this point of where the standard is come playoff?
Yeah, no, this is kind of the point where you have to start taking off. You have to start kind of building. I mean, you want to do it all season long, but it's a long season. And as we kind of get to this back stretch, you want to be playing your best football going into the playoffs. And so as you get close to Thanksgiving and everything like that, you want to start showing progression and stuff that we've worked on throughout the year. And I feel like we're close to doing that, but we want to keep building and keep getting better so we're playing our best football at the end of the season.
Patrick, how much do you think that first half for Xavier can be momentum for the rest of the season, given beyond just the deep balls, but obviously inner working and getting mixed into the offense and obviously non-deep ball moments.
Yeah, I think more than anything is you saw the confidence in that he was playing with, which you could tell that he has more confidence within himself and what he can do within the offense. And whenever he's playing confident, not thinking, he's playing fast, and it's hard for people to account for how fast he is. And so I'm excited for him. I thought that was a good jump-off point. We got to keep him more involved in the offense throughout the second half. But at the same time, I think that's going to help the offense go.
Steve?
Patrick, you mentioned offensive line. There's no secret your line they both have struggled just a little bit. Do you find it being harder for you to be more patient when you know that they've had those struggles?
No, I think that's on me more than anything. I think even if you look at the first interception, if I really just, even though it wasn't open, if I just sit in the pocket and I run up in the pocket, I don't get kind of slung where I throw the ball over the top of Noah. I hit Noah in stride, and it's a big play. And so that's just something that I have to continue to work on, is being able to settle in those spots in the pocket where I can make those throws, not forcing myself to run or scramble too fast. And then whenever I do need to scramble, I got to be smart with the football and make plays. And I thought I had good points of that during the game, but obviously not enough. So I'll continue to work on that throughout the season, and so that we can, like I said, play our best football at the end of the year.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks, bro.
Loss of the season, meetings maybe are a little bit differently this week. Generally speaking, how do you feel like the messaging has been of how you guys can maybe perform better this coming week?
I feel like it's been good. I feel like we're all on the same page. We know we got to execute better. It was a tough loss against a really good team, and we got to bounce back this week against a hot Carolina team.
Two different looking team, obviously the Bills, and where they stand in the AFC and all that. It's been a tough go for Carolina, but as you mentioned, they're playing better. been an off week. What are the dangerous parts of facing a Carolina team this week?
Well, they have a ton of moving pieces, and what I mean by that, it seems like their quarterback situation was fluid, and they've got a lot of young pieces, some rookies at the receiver position. They've traded away some players, and so when you're trying to build a good team and a good culture, it takes time and guys playing together for a long time. They've certainly played better the last 2 weeks, and I think they're starting to gel, starting to mesh a little bit. You're seeing those young guys get comfortable. They brought some good pieces in on the offensive line in the offseason, so it's a good group personnel-wise, and we'll have to be on our X's and O's.
It's like to run the ball too, right?
Yeah, they do.
And reports are the rookie is going to play for the first time this week. Maybe some of you guys haven't seen, right? The kid from Texas. What sort of thing would that add to the mix? This point in the season, facing someone that you can't even see on tape yet.
Yeah, we know how good 30 is, and obviously got a much deserving contract extension. He's been playing well for them. And then, like you mentioned, the rookie, we'll see if he's out there on Sunday. Second-round pick, high draft pick. I'm sure he's got a lot of talent. We watched a little bit of his college tape. He seems explosive, able to make good cuts, good in the screen game. And so we'll have our hands full.
Their quarterback can be elusive too, but is it elusive in a different way than Josh Allen, or how would you, or is it elusive quarterback and elusive quarterback?
I think that's a good point. I think they're obviously two different body types. Bryce is a little smaller in stature, maybe a little quicker than Josh is, but Josh is obviously bigger, has a really strong stiff arm, and it's tough to bring down from that standpoint. But, a guy like Josh Allen, you're trying to, stay high and harass and do everything you can there. Or a guy like Bryce can duck, get underneath you. And so it's just a different approach when you're approaching each of those different quarterbacks.
You guys, it's a long season, we know that. We're in the dog days, I guess, now, getting near the holidays and all that. And the team has been so professional, Coach said, every week you come in the same way. Does it feel different coming in after the first loss of the year this year?
Yeah, I got to disagree. I don't feel the dog days. We love it out here. We love it. And the sun's out, and it's a beautiful day in Kansas City. And I think we just have a ton of people that love to play football here. And they've done that through building the team the right way. And so we're excited to be here, be 9-1, top the AFC with a chance, to host playoff games at home. And so we're looking at Carolina, man, trying to get this win and get back on track.
In a loss, not everyone's going to have the best game. How do you see tangible ways that defensively you guys build each other up, as you're going to the next week?
I think we just know we have a high ability to execute. And you look at that first drive, there's 2 third downs where we played good first, second down defense, had a chance to get off the field, and they were able to keep the drive alive. I don't think people are talking enough and giving enough credit to the Bills for executing. And you just look at the throw Josh Allen made that we challenged with Amari Cooper. Nick is right in his face, hitting him. He almost has to short arm it and puts it like on a dime to Amari down the sideline. NJ was right there in coverage. And so they executed at a high level and made plays down the stretch that we didn't make. And I think that's why they got the win.
You looked pretty fired up when there was a little altercation involving the offense over there on the sideline, and you came out. Would 19 or 20-year-old Drue Tranquill got joined in that? And is that something you guys will remember if you play him again?
I mean, things get chippy when you're playing teams that you've played multiple times, you have a history with. I don't think 19 or 20-year-old or 28, 29-year-old Drue would get out there on an NFL field without a helmet. I don't think that's a smart thing to do. Those guys are big and strong. But, tempers flare, and at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of competitors, trying to win. And they're a good team. We're a good team.
You mentioned the third downs. They actually well in third downs. The last third down of the game, you guys stopped them. Did you think, right away, they're going to go on fourth down? Do you think they were going to field goal with tempo? What was just the kind of thought in the huddle at that point?
No, I knew they were going to go for it. They weren't going to let Patrick have a chance.
You guys have to be prepared for that basically all the time. I mean, you always depend 3 downs, but a lot of times because of who you guys have on offense, you got to feel like you got to defend 4 downs.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back to the Buccaneers game and the decision, do they go for 1 or 2 there at the end? I'm sure, Sean McDermott and those guys. I mean, we have a history of playing them. You look at the 13-second game where Patrick's able to go down and get in field goal range. I just think if you look at them and what they've been able to do on 3rd and 4th down, they have a 4th and 2. Are their odds better securing that first down, potentially running the clock down? Worst case scenario, having to kick a field goal, or best case scenario, running the clock out. Are their chances better doing that, or is it kicking the field goal and giving the ball back to the best quarterback in the NFL with, 2:20 and the 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning? I think everybody knew, we knew they were going to go for it, and they out-executed us.
Drew, time and time again, people talk about how the Chiefs take everybody's best shot and kind of a litmus test for some teams. Having gone through that last year, how do you kind of battle through that mentally and physically on those type of runs?
Last one.
Well, having played the Chiefs for 4 years, I know what it feels like to be on the opposing side. You're excited when you get a chance to play the defending champions, and certainly you feel that energy. You know, teams tend to come out very emotional against us and have good game plans. And at the end of the day, you just have to settle in. You have to play your game. You have to rise to each day. I mean, it's hard to go into an NFL game and not like be excited and be thrilled about it. It doesn't matter who you're playing. All these guys are professionals, and so we'll have to do that again this week.
Thanks, Drew.
All right, y'all. See you.
In the building this week, coming still 9-1, it's a loss, whatever. You guys kind of working the same way you always work?
Yeah, I mean, we just go about it, our preparation for the week, just, practice hard, attention to details. And, for us, from that game, it just felt like, that's something that we can learn from on our side of the ball and stuff like that. So, yeah.
What sort of lessons do you think you guys did learn on offense this week?
I think for us, just being able to come out, in the second half and just, when our defense played very, very well, we need to come out there and, execute. Those are some critical drives that, putting opportunities for us to put, points on the board.
JuJu, over the last few weeks, how bad was the hamstring injury, and then how did you feel coming back?
It feels great. It's a great staff here taking care of me. They have a nice little program for me, being able to get me back out there and, being able to be out there with my boys and just to play in that atmosphere was, felt good to be back.
Seemed like your snaps were limited. Are you feeling 100% even stemming from
Oh, yeah, 100%.
JuJu, with Xavier Worthy from the time you got here till now, where have you kind of seen the biggest growth for him in this offense?
Man, that guy, he can do it all, man. He can, go deep, open up the field for a lot of us, and, he also can play short game too. So, as you can see, he's starting to get, rolling and moving. So it's nice to see that, he's doing his thing and excited to see what more is coming for him.
And for you early on when you were a rookie in your first year into, how long does it take to kind of some of the finer points to get those down from muscle?
Yeah, I mean, he's a smart kid. It's funny to say he went to Texas and me and him had the same coach in college. So coming from like Sarkisian, coming from his offensive scheme, has helped him a lot. Has helped me a lot, and he pretty much gets it all. I think the biggest difference for him this year compared to his years playing football is that this season is a lot longer. So being able to take care of your body and longevity.
And how having had the same coach, do you guys can kind of speak a language?
Yeah, we always talk about Sark, man. He's a good dude, good coach. We always talk about Texas and USC ball.
This week, another former Patriots receiver in the building. What can you tell us about him and his opportunity to kind of blend in here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he has a great opportunity to come here for Taekwondo. I think he's a great dude. Played with him in New England. Young dude, loves to work. Another guy who can stretch the field too, and you'll see him out there, doing his thing. So I'm just excited. He's here to be in the building. Excited just to work and just to get it going.
A couple of those things, like when you're young, like Xavier this year, when you make that jump from college to pro, obviously it's 2 feet down, not 1 feet. Kind of that awareness on the sideline. On those longer throws, it seems like it's a lot easier if you're just throwing outs that are 8 yards. You can practice that a bunch. You don't have a lot of time to practice 40-yard throws and the toe tap stuff, right? How do you get that part down?
Yeah, I mean, it's just repetition. I think for Xavier, being one of the fastest guys in the league, running at that much speed and having to stop on the sideline is not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people can get up to that top speed and to track the sideline. But for him, like I said, it's just a repetition of just working at it every single day. And as a young guy, I've had those moments, and I'm in year 8, where you can't really see where the sideline is at when the ball's in the air. So I think for him, he's getting it down, and I'm not worried about him at all. He's a guy that's gonna fix it, correct it, and get back to it.
You see the right things from him as a young player when something like that happens, right? Because that's the name of the game: make a mistake and learn from it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that takes accountability too. Like he needs to work on that, and that's something that what's great about him, that he's always looking to get better, move forward. Like I say, he's not a guy that knows it all. He's a guy that's a sponge who's trying to soak in as much information as he can. And like I said, I think that's something that he knows that eventually that's something he's working on.
Last couple.
How do you balance? I mean, you had the huge game against New Orleans. How do you balance being somebody who can catch the ball a lot and put up numbers, but also knowing there's other people and the ball being spread around? So I guess kind of wanting the ball, but also knowing kind of where you fit into the offense.
Honestly, man, like being in this offense, anyone can have a game, at any moment. I think, for myself, just being out there with the guys, whatever I can do to help out and help win, whether that's me catching the ball, whether me blocking down the field, opening up the play. So whatever that sees fits, I pretty much just, leave it, in the coach's hands, and, that's it.
What's it been like for you working with DeAndre?
It's been awesome, man. It's been cool. Growing up, a big Hawk fan when he was in Houston, and being able to see him on the same team, he's a cool dude, man. Like that veteran mentality, that mind, the way he works, the way he goes about, his business. He's always learned something new from him, so it's pretty cool.
You guys get a good social media game. He's got a pretty good social media game too, though, right? D-Hop?
Yeah. I mean, he has a good following. I mean, like I say, he's been a guy that's been doing it for 12 years, so it's pretty cool.
Thanks, JuJu.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you guys.